And a reminder, the first 30 minutes of this podcast are available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google and many of the major platforms. The full podcast is available at www.patreon.com/SRBmedia. SRBmedia. Welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Curran View with the man himself, the idol of Hillsborough, Mr. Terry Curran. Your host is the Gabby Cabby, Paul Collins.
Good evening, Gabby, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening, TC, and good evening, everybody. Steady away, son. How's the week been?
Not too bad. Been a bit cool and windy as anything last night, but other than that, just plodding along.
Yeah, it's been pretty dry in Birmingham. Been, yes, cool. But again, it is the end of January, so it is to be expected. End of January means fourth round of the FA Cup. There was some fantastic ties, some fantastic goals and some tremendous magic moments. What have you sourced for us, T?
Again, you're right. There's been some fantastic goals. We say it every week, but it's true, isn't it? I'm going for Casemiro. He scored two great goals there because the first one, he waited for the keeper to go down. You know, he's made the keeper sell himself, and then he's chipped it over him. But the one I'm going for is the second one. You know me, I'm a big believer in pace and place.
Yeah.
To see it through the crowd and bend it round, and I mean, you look at it, and you think, well, could the keeper got it? No chance, because it's just bent round and come back in. You know, fantastic goal. That's the one I'm going for. My magic moment.
There were so many magic moments. I've got to say a magic moment is tonight. I've just seen all the flags being waved at Newcastle versus Southampton League Cup. It is the League Cup. I know it's a Carabao Cup, but it's the League Cup. It's a competition that you got to the final in 1979 for Southampton. Southampton being tonight's opponents. St James's Park looks as though it's absolutely rocking.
So I played there in an FA Cup game with Doncaster. That's when they went and got to it wasn't the FA Cup, sorry, I tell a lie then. It was the League Cup.
Yeah.
The League Cup game. Maybe 73, 74. But they did get the FA Cup final when we played Liverpool. But I played there, I think they beat us 6-1. Frank Clark scored a goal. His first goal for Newcastle. Been there all that time. And the ground erupted. Honestly, you thought they'd won the World Cup, near mind the European Cup League and everything. It was incredible because I'd be about 18 at the time, and I thought, great to play here one day. And as it happens, I went back there and play again.
Yeah, and almost signed for Newcastle as well.
I did, yeah. But with Arthur Cox, yeah.
But when you look at the ground and you look at the city, I mean, and Newcastle, a one-team city club, same as Leeds United. Absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? It's phenomenal.
You get the derbies, but you can still have derbies. But I think it's great to have one team in the city. I really do, because you get all that support for that team. And when you look at the Newcastle on TV tonight and seeing all the flags and the atmosphere of it, I mean, I've got the sound turned down because obviously I'm talking, but it looks absolutely buzzing, doesn't it?
Absolutely. But I think you're right. When you look at Sheffield, you look at Liverpool, you look at Birmingham, you look at Bristol, you look at most of the big cities, Manchester, of course, two clubs, sometimes three, and in the case of London, quite a lot of football clubs that are in the London area, the various boroughs of London. But there is something special when you are the only team in town. You got that support from pretty much
everyone,
and it is a hotbed of football, is the North East. But Leeds is apart from London, then Birmingham is the next biggest city by numbers. Leeds is the third biggest city by numbers. I think there's over 800,000, isn't there?
And there's only one team in Leeds.
Exactly. So, it is great because you do feel that support of the whole city. And when you look at the black and white and the stripes as well, there's something about that. And of course, the Notts County being the oldest club, and then the old lady of Turin, Juventus, took it. and the Magpies in black and white. And I think there is something special with them stripes, and both teams have been stripes, but Southampton haven't wore their red and white stripes tonight. They've wore what looks like a training kit. Looks awful.
Well, it's all it is to sell. Is to sell kit.
It is,
I mean, what they do to the British public or the fans, forcing. Well, they're not forcing them, but
they are in
they
a
know
way.
the kids are going to say, "Dad, can I have that?"
Yeah.
But no, it looks okay from the back, but from the front, it doesn't do anything for me.
No, absolutely.
But then again, are we getting older? Well, am I getting older? Because I'm 68, so I like things fashionable, and I like things to go forward. But I'm not into these type of strips.
No, absolutely. But I think 50, 60,000 Geordies would disagree with the modern take on the modern kit, because they've still got a traditional black and white stripes. And you look all around St James's Park, there's thousands of Newcastle tops. As wherever the two go and play, they have a great following away from home. Bruno Guimaraes was our player of the week last week. What a performer he is. And player of the week this week, T, I've gone for Kaoru. I think that's how you pronounce his first name. Mitoma from Brighton and Hove Albion. I'd like to start my magic moments with his fantastic strike and his performance. And he has done it before this season for Brighton as well. He does look a player. I think £2.5 million as well. You can still get value for money with all the stupid amounts that are bandied around. You still can pick out a gem for a couple of million.
Well, when you look at Brentford and Brighton,
yes,
the trademark, what they've done these last few years is incredible. Yeah. I mean, Brighton, it is a well-supported club, Brighton, but it finished up with no ground and nothing.
Yeah.
Brentford have always been in and around the fourth tier of football, third tier of football, and what achievement they have done so far, it's been incredible, and they don't look like as though they're going to struggle within the next 2 or 3 years, because they've got squads capable of holding their own. Well, not holding their own, doing a little bit better than holding their own, punching above the weight, really. Yet they still be able to sell players for a tremendous amount of money, which stabilise the club to keep it going and keep trying to achieve little bit more each year. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So for me, it's tremendous what they've done, and you're right. Terrific. But I mean, when you look at the transfers today, I mean, what was it? January. They always used to say about January transfer market, it was panic buying if you spent that kind of money. Now it's funny because it's been over 500 million at this one about at 12:15 today. I don't know what it is now. 511 million pound in January. At the same time, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Juventus are not going to get fined for that breakaway. And I've wrote about this. Will they push forward now again for this Super League?
100%. There will be even more.
It's something. If you don't look at it and analyse it, and not, don't listen to people saying, "No, it's just a conspiracy theory." What it looks at this is they're trying to pull all the best players into the Premier League.
100%.
Right? And then, with these not getting fined, are they going to push it forward?
1-0 game over.
Will they go in a roundabout way, what gives them a little bit more leeway to go and do it? There's something happening, I guarantee you, because in this day and age, where people have not been able to afford things, football is getting absolutely out of control. I mean, out of control.
Yeah, I think it's been out of control for some seasons, and I think that when you look at, I mean, no disrespect to Wolves in the 50s, they kind of were a match for Real Madrid. When you think that Real Madrid can't compete with Wolverhampton Wanderers and they're just about round the drop zone of the Premier League financially, when you look at the amount of millions of pounds that the English clubs are spending, and I think that when you look at some instances, for example, Enzo, the fella Fernandez, Fernandez, the Argentinian fella,
Who's going to Chelsea?
who could be on his way to Chelsea for £115 million. Now, I believe he only joined Benfica last summer, and I think it was in the region of 15 million. Okay, we've had a World Cup, but his transfer figure has gone from 15 million to 115 million, and we're only talking from probably July, August, September, October, November, December. 6 months he's put on £100 million on a transfer fee. It's stupid. It is stupid.
There is something behind all this, Gabby.
It's called stupidity.
Well, it's called stupidity when we looked at the size of the transfer fees.
Yeah, but who values them?
But Gabby, it's going. This is going somewhere. I promise you.
Yeah, it is. And
This
cart
is
to hell.
going somewhere.
I
have never seen this for a long time. What's been spent in this transfer?
I mean, I know the Saudis have bought
Newcastle.
Back to
Real Madrid. You're on about that they can't compete. They've had to get the house in order. They'll be competing like Barcelona. They'll be competing again soon. There's something behind all this.
But the Spanish know the only way they can really compete with the English Premier League now, and so do the Italians, so would the French. Oh, blimey, they nearly went 2 up then, is by having the European Super League where more money is thrown at it and they then can compete, because at the moment they cannot compete at the levels that they're playing.
Gabby, I'll guarantee you one thing, and I'll not be far wrong on this. Well, you might not be far wrong. I'm not being a big mouth. I'm not being a big head. What I'm telling you, if Barcelona and Real Madrid, at this day and age now, come in for any player in the Premier League, they will get them.
Yeah, agreed. They still are the 2 biggest clubs on the planet.
The league's not going to be the same. Don't get me wrong.
But it's the spending.
They will get the big name players.
Yeah, but it's that spending capacity that the Premier League in Spain has put together, whereas Barcelona have had to offload players, Madrid have had to offload players.
Because they're in that much debt.
Absolutely. And
That's the only reason why they're in that much debt.
Yeah,
but they are getting. It's not like in the Premier League. They still get the biggest amount of money.
Oh, 100%. But again, you go back, they're still in debt. So the only way that they cannot be in debt is by earning more money. The only way they're going to earn more money is the European Super League. And the foreign teams absolutely hate the way that the Premier League is the number 1 go-to league in the world.
The money's thrown in from all over the world, isn't it?
100%, yeah. They don't like it. They want to compete. And at the moment, they can't. How they will compete is if the Europeans join together and they have this European Super League, and then it will be a completely different dynamics for them. Because at the moment, the Premier League is just far and away the biggest league on the planet by some distance. Jack Grealish's pass, by the way, for Nathan Ake. Strange that was Cancelo going to Bayern Munich on loan.
Not only the pass, the composure, the technique and the skill, not to panic on the ball, but then force back away from the goal. And then, like you said, to be able to see and play the through ball that he did. And a great finish by Ake.
Absolutely. But you're right. How Jack went about that and the way that he... And this is what I like about Grealish.
That looked like Jack at Aston Villa.
Absolutely. And that's what I was... And do you know something? Nathan Ake reminds me a lot of Matty Target when he played.
I thought you were going to say Rude Ully.
Well, he does kind of like visually.
Listen,
Visually, he does.
Listen,
Yeah.
I better not say it.
No, but visually he does, don't he? He looks like Rude Ully. But the way that Target used to really link up well with Jack Grealish at Villa, Cancelo never used to do that. Cancelo rarely gave Jack the ball. Cancelo was all about Cancelo. Now with Ake playing there,
And Jack might have got that confidence as though he's not the star player like he was at Villa. His mind started to think, well, hang on a bit.
yeah,
I've just been bought for £100 million. I'm going to show everybody. And he's starting to look like the Jack Grealish of Aston Villa. What we all said, what could win a World Cup for England, but it's getting the manager to pick him.
But again, I do think that left back is a better fit for Jack than Cancelo because he helps Jack out a lot more. Jack's always looking to come inside and play them little balls to the fullback like he did at Villa, or go on the outside with a fullback coming on the inside like Target did a lot with Villa and playing such a fantastic ball. And all Ake, I know it sounds stupid, but all Ake had to do was just caress that ball into the back of the net. The weight of the pass was phenomenal.
That's all he had to do, Gabby, because let me tell you something.
No, I understand that. It's very difficult.
7 out of 10 would have blasted that.
Yeah. But he caressed it into the back of the net. But the ball from Jack was so good.
But what you are 100% on is the perfect ball.
Yes.
Set up that he doesn't have to blast it because it's perfect for him to just curl it, bend it round.
Yeah, don't have to break stride. It's there. It's on a plate. Yep. As the great Jimmy Hogan always used to say, inside forwards, midfield players are like waiters in a restaurant. You serve the forwards, and Jack served him perfectly. Bamford's pass also served perfectly. I mean, that was just sublime. A great little, the way he just
he's a good player, isn't he?
He's a good player. I like him, Bamford.
Technically, he's a good player.
I do like him.
But he's not forward. You wanted to get more goals.
But he ain't a goal scorer, is he?
No. Well, he scored a few, I know, in the lower league, in the Championship. But he's never been in the prolific team what make a lot of goals like Manchester City, like in Liverpool, at Liverpool at the best, Man United at the best, and Chelsea at the best,
I think he'd be great for Chelsea now. I mean, he was at Chelsea, wasn't he, years ago?
How much money are they spending?
I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's ridiculous. I mean,
he's 115 million quid. The kid who they've got on loan costs 150 million pound to Atletico Madrid, and yet he looked hell of a player in his first game. And I always tell Tom, I said, he's a player when he was at... I said, but he's no good playing for Simone because it's defensive football.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And then he gets sent off in his first game. But Joe Felix, I've always looked at him and thought he's a player. Chelsea have got so many players and so many similar players as well. And the amount of money that Chelsea are spending is it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's almost insane. It's almost
insane. Can they get in the Champions League? That's going to be the question, isn't it?
Well, when you look at it, I mean, there's 4 places up for grabs. Newcastle are the dark horse this season. Nobody expected Newcastle to be where they are. Arsenal as well. Nobody expected Arsenal to be top of the league. You may have to. But I think when you're looking at the football world...
a lot of people laughed at me, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. If you would have said before the season started, it would have been Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, and a other. But those would have been the 3. I give
Simon Steinford a chance because I said to him, look, we'll not pick Manchester City, we'll not pick Arsenal. Because I fancied Arsenal to go strong this year. Yeah. I still think Manchester City will win the league, mate.
So do I. But I think, yeah.
And then Simon jumped straight down, well, I'm having Tottenham. And I said, well, I'll have Man United. But I fancied to give Man City a good run for the money.
Yeah.
I really did. And they've done more than that so far.
They have done superb and play a great game as well. Arteta, you'd identified him years ago as a great up-and-coming
proper coach.
Stroke manager. Eddie Howe's doing a great job as well.
Not a coach what's going to put drills on. And what I mean, if you went to watch football clubs train, they do all different types of drill. They coach the system.
Yeah.
Well, how to drop off, how to go forward, how to go as a unit, how to press, when to press. Our coaching is all about channel ball and drills. I guarantee you.
I tell you, there's something that I'm watching. Are you watching the game while you're
I've come into
talking?
the bedroom. Yes.
Yeah. Newcastle just put a string of passes there. One touch, two
When
touch,
did
pop,
you
pop,
see
pop.
that at Newcastle?
Exactly. And
Tell me.
most of these players played under Steve Bruce. And
By
this
the
is what
way,
we've always said. It's about the coaching.
I go on to Manchester City.
Yeah.
I would have an element in my team. I'd have a Peter Barnes in my team.
Yeah.
What can go past people?
Yes.
Right. I keep telling everybody, I'm older than Guardiola. I watched the Brazilian team. That's what put me aware of the intermovement of players.
Yeah.
And then when I went and joined Forest, Fluffy did no different. They had bigger players than the Brazils, what I watched as a kid. But Cluffy's team did the same thing. Liverpool to a certain extent, but Forest were unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, in that era when Liverpool were at the peak, and now, you know, Benitez has won the Spanish league. He's won a Champions League.
Yeah. Never rated that manager.
Listen, that was a lucky because it cost me £18,000. That I had an accumulator and I had AC Milan to win that with 3-0 up. That would have won off because maybe AC Milan were an unbelievable team.
Yeah,
for them to get, to lose that. And I know they lost it on penalties. But going back to what I was saying about Newcastle, right? Benitez his football is boring.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't see his teams do that.
No.
You wouldn't see him move that with a pace and a tempo to the game. It's like Simeone.
Yeah, 100%. I'd never have him.
I said, I can't watch Tottenham much, mate. I really can't.
Yeah.
And I like Tottenham as a football club. I just don't like how he plays football. Conte, I really don't.
I don't think there's many Tottenham fans that like the way he plays football. And Tottenham do wait till they go a couple of goals down until they start playing football. But I've got to bring up Son's goal. I mean, when you mentioned Casemiro's goal, the way he bent it round, I mean, Sonny's technique there.
Great
I mean,
player.
it's curled straight in the corner. I mean, tremendous. And nice to see him getting back on the score sheet and getting his confidence up as well. Tottenham have got the players, but the handbrake is often on because of the manager. I've got to give a shout out to Fred's goal as well. I thought it was a delightful little flick for Fred to score. And Wrexham's performance.
Oh, yes, brilliant. That was a great magic moment. That when you know.
Yeah, it was superb. There were some fantastic reels that I've noticed on social media, some fantastic moments, some magic moments. And then I didn't see the first half of Wrexham's game, but what a game of football the second half was. Sheffield United going to Wrexham, took an early lead, then Wrexham got back and the game ebbed and flowed. And at one stage you thought when Mullins scored that goal, they're in the next round. They are still in the next round, of course. But a late Joe Egan equaliser, really, it was an absolute gutting moment for the Wrexham faithful. And Ryan Reynolds seemed so happy and so at home in his boardroom there at Wrexham, and great for Netflix as well. What a series, what a find, what a story. But again, like the conference, there's so many really good sides in that conference. I think Notts County are at Solihull.
Well, if you're going to buy clubs, you've got to look, where they're based.
Yeah.
What fan base? I mean, it's always had a decent fan base as Wrexham. Derby County will be the ideal club to buy now.
Yeah.
In the Championship 1, 2, 1. Yeah, Championship 1. Because it's guarantee you 30,000 people with the right person, and you could buy it at the right price, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
And you're right what you're saying. What they've done at Wrexham so far, so good. But it's no good if they don't get into Football League this year.
No, and it is going to be difficult.
Because Notts County are not going to be a pushover.
No, and Notts County, I mean, arguably, I mean, what would Notts County get, you know, if they're doing well?
They've never been a great supporter, but Forest are getting vast amount of more support for me now than they've ever done.
Yeah. But if you, oh, brilliant. Newcastle absolutely sublime tonight. Longstaff scored his second goal. What a tremendous move. And again, we go back. It's the belief. It's the way that the coach, the manager Eddie Howe, sets Newcastle up.
Players,
unbelievable.
You give them the confidence to go.
Longstaff was there under Bruce.
Team, right?
Yeah.
Now, occasionally you might have to give him a bollocking and say, hey, hang on, that's not good enough. And I expect better.
Yes.
But why not talk to him? Look, you're doing well. We're going to do this, and we'll add this, and we'll add that. You know, players know what's going on, and they ain't being tied down. As long as they understand when they haven't got the ball, you know, how dangerous the opposition can be. Yeah. Anyone.
100%.
Right?
And
so be alert to it.
Yeah, and lots of these players played under Steve Bruce, and when they were owned by Mike Ashley, and the manager has come in.
They were worse under Benitez, but again, they were poor under Bruce.
Absolutely, yeah. But
and this second goal, when you all see it, guys.
Fabulous goal.
5 or 6,
fabulous
7 passes, boom, back there.
Them two passes, I think it was Almiron and the other fella, Willock. Two fantastic. And again, the thing is, Willock don't get no assist there. This is why you can stick all your figures and all your facts and all your stats up your backside because they count for nothing. Willock made that goal, but it don't class as an assist. So when you're watching football, watch with your eyes. Don't look at what you see on a spreadsheet because it really confuses issues and matters and it don't give you the truth. So watch with your own eyes and judge players from what you see. Book Corner Association.
I remember this when Simon Seymour says to me, Joe Linton's not a player. I said, Simon, you won't be a player to play for Benitez under Joe Linton.
Yeah.
He looks a different player.
Yeah, he does.
Looks a different player.
But again, play him in his right position and you might get some decent performances out of him.
You can ask Simon, he'll tell you. I said, Simon, he's a better player than what you think he is.
Yeah. But again, it's like with Steve Bruce and with Benitez. Stick him up front as a number 9 because he's big and he's strong and, he can run around a bit and annoy people.
And he's got better players to pass him the ball.
Yeah, play him in midfield, play him a little bit deeper, get him on the ball. You might find a better performance from him. And again, what a great coached side Newcastle United look, playing little angles, little intricate passes. I think he's done a fantastic job. Manager of the year for me, Eddie Howe. My football books in association with myfootballbooks.com. Andy always gives us a recommendation for our book corner. We do a regular podcast with Andy. We've done 10 so far. I've got to give him a shout because 11 should be on the horizon. And he's recommended football's greatest season, the 1971-72 season by Daniel Abrahams. And I have done a podcast with Daniel about this book. It's a fantastic book. And on the front, Brian Clough, Don Reevy, Rodney Marsh, Kevin Keegan, Bill Shankly,
some great stuff in Newcastle.
United. They are, absolutely. But again, what a great season the 71-72 season was, T. My first season really understanding football.
Brilliant. I mean, thought 66, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds, all great, and went all the way through to about 75, didn't it? And then Liverpool really took over and had that great period. Remember Arsenal scored, was it 70, when Charlie George, 71, 70?
71, they won the double.
Scored that goal.
70, 71, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely sublime.
But it goes through the whole of the season, starting pre-season through August, September, through the months to May, all the bits and pieces that went on in the football season. If you love the 70s football and the seasons of the 70s, then this is the ideal book for you. I did say to Daniel, you've started 71, 72. Can you go back and do 70, 71? Then do every season of the 70s, because I'd love to have a book that's got all the information about the season. So it's a fantastic read. The 1971-72 season, football's greatest season, ? By Daniel Abraham.